What's up, bitches?
Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Altair 1134, and today I have a special video known as Anime Debate. Which the first episode of debate is anime versus DC and Marvel. This is a odd debate that has actually, well, it's not much of an occurring debate unless some DC and Marvel fans decide to come over and decide to bitch at us, saying that we watch cartoons, even though it's basically the same. So, yeah, manga and, well, this poor bastard. A big ass comic of Batman. Like, holy shit. What are you doing with this?
I read it, Jacob. I read it like a book.
It's a fucking comic. Okay, so yeah, let's start with the most actual noticeable differences. Like we're gonna do compare and contrast. So let's start with the differences of the anime and manga with Marvel and DC. Now, let's go ahead and talk about story.
Less.
Huh?
Go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay.
Might have got that.
With anime and manga, well, mostly manga in general because there's more mangas than there is anime. Um, in manga, you have more. I would like to say it's more linear. Now, that doesn't mean that there are side projects that come in like light novels or manga spin-offs that are written and illustrated by different people. Um, let's take for example, with Tokyo Ghoul, you have no, it's not, no, not Tokyo Ghoul. Crap, what series was it that had? Oh, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan's got several light novels that were written by different people compared to the original author. So that could possibly work, but I'm not sure if it works with DC and Marvel, whether it comes to the original creator maybe giving consent to say, yeah, go ahead and do this. You can go ahead and do that. Just make sure you stick to the original idea.
It's a free for all, man. It is a free for all with comics. Let me tell you. The original creators are long dead. Dead men. Dead old men. So
Stanley's still
these
alive, though.
these he's not too far off. He's gonna kick it. He's gonna kick it soon. Stanley's gonna croak. But
That's true.
as with Batman, the creator, shoot, he could be well. I don't know. Who am I? But it's pretty much just like take the character, make a story out of it. If it's good, you'll sell a lot of copies. If it's bad, you won't sell a lot of copies.
But what about the story? Because with DC and Marvel, though, like, okay, let's focus on DC for a second. We have multiple universes, right? Can they kind of like contradict multiple things? Like, say, let me give you an example. Say one universe, a certain character does die, but in a different universe, that character is still alive.
Don't think of it like there's a linear story in that there's different universes that delve off of that story. Think of it like people are just creating using known like I'm gonna use Batman as an example, of course, but using known villains in Batman, they're going to create a whole new story revolving around pretty much anything they want to, as long as they have. It's not like there's a storyline that you have to follow. Like you watch a TV show from beginning to end, you're like, oh, that's a good story. It's like there's a bunch of one-offs, bunch of like one-shot. Dang, I'm trying to put this into
Yeah, I
words
know.
here. Um,
It's kind of hard to explain, isn't it?
yeah, especially I don't have anything. I don't have anything prepared. For example, take a this butte, huh? This one, wrong way. That one. Nightfall, right? This is a story about Bane, story about Batman. But there's 100 stories about Bane and 100 stories about Batman.
Like 100 stories about the Joker and Batman, we get the same story, different shit, but like I know there's different variations of Batman. For example, like those some timelines are more darker than others. Some of them are just more creep. They make the characters either more creepy, or they just make them a little bit more cartoony, like a
Some
little
of
bit
them,
funnier.
some of them, Batman isn't even Bruce Wayne. Batman has been any. There has been Batman has been anyone from Superman. Like Superman was adopted by the Waynes instead of the Kents. There was a story about that. It's called Speeding Bullets. There's another one where Bruce Wayne was the one who died in the alley that night, and his dad became the Batman, Thomas Wayne. Um, there's a bunch of stories where Batman isn't. Oh, Green Lantern becomes Batman. Well,
Okay, that
Batman becomes the Green Lantern. My bad.
okay, that seems interesting.
Yeah.
But
So yeah.
now let's talk about characters. Okay, with any kind of characters, it doesn't matter what kind of series it is. It doesn't matter it's live action, comic, or just a normal book in general. You're always gonna have these tropes that are very common within anything. Sometimes they are very common in any kind of form of media, or sometimes it's just for its own particular area. Like, let me give you an example within anime and manga. You have I'm pretty sure it does exist within DC and Marvel, which we call them Sundres. Someone that's like basically pissed off at you, but for some reason likes you secretly. That's basically a Sundere. That's the best way I can describe it. They're a bitch. Then you have Yanderes, psychopaths that will murder anyone that is not a love interest. Quite literally. That's a trope in anime and manga.
Well, not true in comic books. Let me tell you,
But
that's
I'm,
weird.
but I'm saying like there's a certain tropes I'm using this as an example as anime and manga tropes. There's probably tropes in comics that you see.
Oh, of course. For example, in Batman, the Doctor gone crazy. There's like 8 doctors in Batman. Like Doctor Crane, that Scarecrow, worked at the college, and he like developed. He studied fear, and then he took his experiments too far, went nuts. Harley Quinn was a doctor at. She was a psychologist at Arkham, and she went crazy. Who else? Who else? There's so many. Man Bat. He was studying freaking deafness and trying to cure it with bat genes, and he turned himself into a big bat monster by accident. 100 there's so many doctors that turn themselves into evil.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like, oh, it's science that made us evil.
Yeah,
Except for the Joker. The Joker just somehow fall into a pool of acid, I think.
ace chemicals, baby,
Chemicals.
ace chemicals.
Now, I mean, sure enough, there are probably characters like now those characters in anything that we'll come to love or hate, despite like being having characteristics such as like so similar to a different character that we already know from different series or in the same series in general. You're just doing this one works better than the other one. Have you ever kind of felt like that? Like one particular character kind of fits it more than the other ones. Like everything else just feels like it's a coincidence and whatnot.
I don't really know what you mean.
Take for example, okay, like you said, like there's multiple doctors. That gets a trope. But yeah, you have but yeah, there's probably a character that kind of fits in more like psychologically or how their experiments could have gone wrong and done something to them.
Well, they all make sense in and of themselves, and it all like they all have their storylines are very well put together, and none of them are like, oh, that's out of place. But
But none of them just feel like
I mean,
it's oh, that's a
you just
coincidence.
notice it. You just notice it.
Okay. And let's talk about the setting. With anime manga, you can be very usually in mangas, you notice that it's always set in a particular area, or they will make up a new area depending on the story. And I'm pretty sure I know that with any DC or Marvel, it's always going to probably be set in the United States of America, somewhere, somehow, with a fictional town, like
Well,
Metropolis and Gotham.
not necessarily. Justice League operates all over the world. Also off world. They I guess those are fictional places, but yeah, I guess a lot of them revolve around in the U.S. because U.S. is where these comic books are coming from. Just as you could say that anime and manga, most of them are based in Japan. So like of course it's gonna be like that. Um, in terms of setting, it's really variable. You know, you can have anywhere from Gotham City to Soviet Russia. That's a fact.
It's true. And with now, okay, so we're starting, we basically agree that
What?
anything, basically anything, it can just vary from basically anything as long as it's, even though it comes from its original source. uh, setting it though. Okay, so now art style. This one I've seen, like I've literally seen YouTube comments. I've seen forum sites when these kind of debates happen that uh
Oh,
and
I got a thing about
well
art style. Check this out. Let's look at the cover of Rosario Vampire, huh?
everyone else with Mocha looks at.
Big-breasted anime girl. Look at that, guys. Just teeming with tits. Same on the back. Not to be rude, because look on the cover of this. Big muscular half naked dudes. It's just backwards, guys. It's just backwards.
Well,
You want to see guy
well
fan service or you want to see girl fan service? What do you
now,
want? What
but
do you want?
okay, I'm not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, but because of how you're acting, but with art style though, like I've seen people like say that um the anime art style looks too simplistic. Yet I've seen like series like Berserk where it's just like drawn so damn beautifully. I'm doing holy shit. Where DC Comics and Marvel Comics, they have like they are more detailed. Will say that they can become more detailed. That doesn't mean that mangas can't be detailed
Mm-hmm.
in the final ways, because there's some that's like how you draw that. And like take for example, like okay, in anime terms, like take Dragon Ball Z, simplistic muscle mass. That's it. You take like
Muscle mass.
You take Batman, Superman, more realistic muscle mass proportions. But it just depends on the art style, and those different art styles within anime and manga. With DC Comics and Marvel Comics, I kind of feel like I don't know, it just feels the same, like has a similar art style all throughout. And some depending on who wrote it first, whatnot.
I don't think you could be any more wrong, Jacob. You
This is
see,
well,
in
I'm
my
going from my
opinion,
perspective.
well, understand, but you told me that I could go from my perspective,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna continue
I'm just letting you
using
know.
your Rosario Vampire as an example. See her face, guys. Let's focus on the face, not the tits this time. That's a classic anime face. Practically featureless, perfect almost, because it's no imperfections, nothing that makes it like a person. Am I right? Now I'm not shitting on anime or manga because I mean I enjoy watching a manga or anime from time to time. I read manga, mostly just like simple stuff. I'm not as big into it as Jake over here is. Um, but with Batman and with Superman and with just any comic book, any American made comic book, you have a different writer and a different
Illustrator.
artist for pretty much every single comic book. Now, if I had more comic books with me, I could show you like at least
Oh,
like so many different art styles, and they all look extremely different. Um, even the faces, even down to the faces and what the character models look like. Batman has been portrayed anywhere from looking like a giant looming bat monster to looking like
a
just
scrawny
a
little
normal
scrawny guy.
just a normal guy like wearing like almost like a leather suit. He looks like he's completely normal. Um,
No,
so it's like
no.
it's very variant, and I don't want to again shit on
I
anime, but
mean,
it just seems like
I
let me just
mean,
finish this
okay.
and then I'll tell you. I'm sorry. Um, it just seems like manga and anime stick to the same art style, the same like they draw
That
these people the same way every single time.
when we kind of counteract that a little bit. Okay, now you kind
Anime
of
more
now.
specifically.
Okay, so let's take example with like I said with art style, and it also depends on its genre, and also it also depends on what demographic it is. And now in anime and manga, you have four different uh, genres. You have shonen, seinen, and then you have shoujo, and I think it is called yosei. I can't remember if I pronounced that correctly. I may have, and I may have even said the wrong word. But for your audience out there, you may know what the hell I'm talking about. But it's with Rosario Vampire, like, okay, I can compare Rosario Vampire art style, and then I go up and compare it to Attack on Titan. Which one's going to have the better art style? Of Rosario Vampire will, but which one goes to a little bit more of like okay, one is illustrated by story, and oh my god. Okay, so okay, so with Song of Empire though, you have like story and art by one person, right? There's some series like take for example Spice and Wolf that's stories written from light novel and it's adapted, written by the same guy but illustrated by a different person.
Of course.
So of course you're gonna get different illustrations in DC. Of course you're gonna get that, but from someone's perspective that's not into it, it all looks the same. Too. And from someone that's looking into anime or manga world from the outside, they're gonna all say, "Oh, it all looks the damn same." And
Well, I've watched. Say,
oh,
I'm out of practice with anime, but I've watched a lot of animes, and a lot of, and it's not. I mean, it's not that I'm coming from a place of bias because I've tried both and given both a fair shot. But I do think that, for example, so if someone were to be like, "Hey, draw a pair of comic book eyes," I don't know what you're talking about, comic book eyes. But if someone looked at me and said, "Draw a pair of anime eyes," I'd be like, "Oh, a pair of anime eyes. I get it."
but now there's also like, okay, so now like I was saying with both sides, and this is probably the biggest point, anyways, of the differences between the two. With you look at like I know that DC they go more realistically approach with any kind of form of art style. I know they do this intentionally, do the right character mask except for Bane. Bane looks like a super freak of a Hawk.
Of course he does.
He's probably the Hawk's bitch, and
Bane would destroy the Hulk.
I'm just saying.
Bane would eat him.
I'm fine with each. Actually, I think they might eat each other.
Breaking.
Now, with anime and manga, however, I guess in like for me though, like there is something that kind of is true about a certain fact that I do believe in is that the more simple it is, the more complicated it is. And I've tried drawing anime characters before. I tried. It's damn difficult because it has a different character design than what you normally see. It's different, and you have to get the right portions, or it's gonna not look right. With DC and Marvel comics, you can probably be like an amateur artist, but if you know how to do proportions correctly with muscles and whatnot, you got Batman. But it's the details that you have to be worried about more than what the character. I feel like more than the character design is the more of the details. Because let's use that as an example. Let's show you that guys these. If you could look right here, you guys probably won't be able to see very well, but you can tell from the shadows, the outlines, chest hair, the bruises, the scratches, every detail's on there, even the wrinkles on the skin. That is detail. But with anime and manga, however, they like to stick it to a more. Let me find get one that probably makes the most damn sense. So you could possibly have one that's more simplistic. Just have a white background. You don't have to do anything. But you can still but can be a little bit more creative. You can still see it. It's more simplistic, and you know what the characters will look like. While sometimes, I guess in DC and Marvel universe, there might be a character or two that might look similar to another character by chance, but and that doesn't mean that doesn't happen in anime and manga.
Hmm.
Because there's sometimes I'll get confused. I'm doing, wait a second, what the hell are you doing here? Because a great example of this is Dragon Ball Z, with the Tree of Might movie, where you have a character that looks exactly like Goku, or Bardock looks like Goku, and it's just
That's how
wow,
they do. That's how they do family relations. It's
yeah,
like if someone's your father, he looks exactly like you.
same hairstyle, same face, same voice. Why the hell not?
Right.
But okay, maybe not the same voice. I don't know, but it's been so long since I've seen Dragon Ball Z. Um, Now, let's talk about the enjoyment factor now, because we talked a lot about the character designs and all that. Maybe we didn't jump right into it and start killing each other over the fact that they're both different.
Hmm.
But let's talk about the enjoyment factor. Actually, no. Actually, let's save that for last. Now let's talk about the similarities. Like, because we talked about the differences, let's talk about the similarities. What's similar with anything is that you're going to have the originality of characters. Now, that doesn't mean that everything's going to be damn original. You can take a concept of something that's already existing, but do something a bit different, add in your own take onto it, and add something new. That's where you can get like, let's
I
take.
think the biggest similarity. I think the biggest similarity, honestly, not. I mean, I think this is probably the biggest similarity. Honestly, is the fantastical nature of them both. They both provide a certain escape from realism
Now,
because of their because of their fantastical, often impossible natures.
such as like kill or kill. Oh my god. but but I mean, like what they like you said that is actually pretty damn true. But
Mm,
let's take a look. But what like I was saying like a second ago
mm.
with the originalities and all that. With anything else, like they're both similar because you can take something that's already a work in progress and you take something and you reimagine it. And I'm pretty sure in DC and Marvel, that's probably the best idea to use it as an example because okay, let's use Batman. Like, there's multiple different worlds, different universes that's been illustrated and written, but they have the same idea, same character designs, everything else. Maybe a little bit different depending on how dark, how serious they want to tone it.
Not the same character designs. Of
Well, I'm
course, he's
saying,
got the utility belt and
yeah,
he's mostly
but
like dark colors, but
but what could be the difference? What's something that's so original? What can you add to it? You can either add a different backstory, or you can add on to it, or you can take it feeling. You can make it more traumatic. You can make something more creepy. You can add it, change it to the original character to something different. That's to a more creepier vibe than what it is like with the Joker. Make the Joker seem like less threatening. Have it go guide to this most creepiest, sinister, evil character you've ever seen in your life. That's what I can use as an example. Though I never read DC comics, so I might be making that shit up. You've read them,
I've
so,
read him.
so it may be somewhat true.
Yeah.
With manga and anime, however, you take an idea like, say, let's use one of the oldest animes to date. And no, I'm not talking about Asteroid Boy. I'm talking about Gundam, the whole entire Gundam series. You have the mech genre.
Classic show.
How many times have they brought that back to life? Oh my god! But you take that
Well, they're
idea,
just cool.
yeah.
Honestly, I
But
think.
you take the original idea, and then you have Neon Genesis Evangelion, where they deconstruct. It's
Mhm.
deconstructing it and bringing something else. With you have Sailor Moon, the first metrical anime to ever exist. Then years later, you get Polymagi Madoka Magica, which deconstructs it. It makes it into this instead of being this friendly little thing, it is the most creepiest ass show you ever seen in your damn life.
Mm.
And then you have school days. No one talks about school days.
I sure don't.
That's a deconstruction of the Harlem genre, and it failed. And that doesn't mean that Marvel and DC, there's times that it fails. Like there might be a world that it just fails at itself. It's like no. But yeah. Now let's get to the last bit, the enjoyment factor. Which one's going to be more enjoyable? Now this is up to preference, though. Now, be honest, and I know you guys thinking because he has mentioned he's watched anime, he's read manga before.
He's
You guys are probably thinking, wait a second, a Marvel DC fan watched anime and manga? He doesn't watch it as much as he does anymore.
I got switched.
He basically got, in a kinder way of saying it, burned out.
Hmm. Big time. I ran out of what I would consider good animes to watch because
No, I
they
mean,
started getting.
no, that doesn't mean there's new animes that are good coming out, but it's probably based on his standards, his own
It's just my
preference.
preference. They started getting
Yeah.
so repetitive, and to me, they started getting so repetitive and yeah, almost cringy sometimes. I don't know. I just found much more pleasure in comic books because I don't enjoy my shows trying to make me want to fuck every character every second of the damn show. Unsuccessfully most of the time. Most of the time.
Now, getting off topic. Now, with enjoyability though, with anime and manga, like for my preference, I guess that because I've watched it for so long, I guess it's becomes something that I feel like I can't, like, because I've never been someone that will go off and watch a live action type show, like say like Doctor Who, because this guy out here tried to get me to watch Doctor Who, and I just can't get into it. There was something about it that I didn't like. I can't put my finger to it. It's just something
What?
that
You don't like comedy? You don't like
no, I
adventure?
no.
You don't like fun?
Okay, comedy. Now, comedy is a different way. It's very hard to judge. It's very hard to judge. Everyone's got a different sense of humor,
Disgusting.
but I can't say that the show is bad because the show's damn popular. People like it, but when it comes to me though, my own preference and how I see things, I just feel that anime and manga, to me, like I don't like to look at it as a way of escapism. I like to look at it as entertainment, something that I can go off because I've been with it for a long ass time. And I'm pretty sure if I started with DC and DC Comics or Marvel Comics, I'll be in the same exact boat and position that I am in now.
I just I just can't get the. I mean, this is gonna sound like I'm harping on this, and I'm sorry, all you. I don't know how many subscribers, all you viewers out there, especially you,
That's it's sad. I only got 16 subscribers.
especially you, number 14, you piece of shit. Um, I just don't like. I don't like my entertainment to also double as softcore porn.
and that's actually a stereotype right there. No, I'm saying stereotyping because there could be.
Okay.
I'm saying stereotyping because that's what a lot of people think it's like it's hentai. It's like don't judge a book by its cover. That's what you always don't want to do. Now that can't be say like we can't make
Dude,
that
this
into a.
cover gives you exactly what you're gonna
No, I'm
get.
saying there's
Exactly what you're
no.
gonna get.
I'm saying like okay, take this for example with DC. You have a freaking chap. You have a freaking chapter, maybe an actual freaking comic about Batman playing baseball or Wonder Woman playing bowling. Yeah,
Well,
that actually exists.
well, those are probably just stupid fan spin-offs, kind of like the Star Wars Christmas episode.
That was actually made by LucasArts.
Yeah, that's like a stupid little joke thing.
I know, and LucasArts is like he went like he himself went out of his way to make sure no one sees it.
No, he didn't. It's a joke.
No, you can't buy it in stores anywhere.
True, but it is a joke. I can buy it
It
on Amazon, and I will buy it on Amazon.
that way you can torture me during Christmas.
No, that way I can watch it over and over every day
Hey,
of the
show
year.
your brothers. Maybe they'll cry.
I won't show anyone.
No one has to sit through that horrifying mess. But with okay, so with enjoyability though, still like I mean, I'm pretty sure if I was to give in to go and watch it, because I do plan of watching sometime in the future. No, not watching, actually reading. Either DC or Marvel comics in the future because I need a break. I have been burned out by anime because I've actually gently increased what I should watch because I'm gonna show this guy here for a second. Where is it? Okay, here's my list. I'm gonna show you. This is on my laptop.
Did you watch Angel Beats?
Yep. I did.
I watched
See,
Angel
this is
Beats.
everything I'm watching currently. I usually watch up to 5 animes a year. That's more than what I could have handled. That is a lot more than what I could freaking handle, and I got burned out.
That's too much. Oh, Beyond the Boundary was good.
Beyond the Boundary.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, a lot of people told me that was good. Pupa though, oh god no. I need to finish that, but it's so bad. Pupa's bad. Don't watch it, people. Don't watch it. But it's
Hey, I like weird shit.
you know what? After this, I'm gonna show you Pupa, and I told it's like the one of the shortest animes ever. Like you can watch all the episodes within 1 hour. Get off
Oh,
topic.
wake up sometimes.
When did we get off topic somehow?
Uh,
Okay,
I
so
lost track of the conversation at
uh,
tits.
yeah, you did. We're guys here,
No,
but
not in a good way. I was
yeah,
angry. I hate him.
and it probably explains why explains her boyfriend Gary. Now, okay, so with any kind of comics though, like now I'm not sure how long with like I want to make one more point though with Marvel and DC against versus anime manga. Now I am pretty damn sure there have been comic book heroes that have had those stories done. They're done. They're ended. I'm pretty sure they probably have existed. But
Take it back.
what?
The Gary thing. Take it back.
You're thinking about Gary?
Take it back.
Fine, man. Go back to Luke. Okay, so what? No one likes
Take
Luke.
it back. Jacob. Okay, here we go.
But God, you're such a drama queen. But with with DC and Marvel, I'm pretty sure, like I said, it'll probably happen stories for characters that have ended. They probably have ended their story little arcs and never to be seen again unless it's a cameo.
Hey,
It,
Batman's ended like 5 times. They have so
but I
many
mean,
endings for
but
Batman.
I mean, like just like literally put to rest, done.
Done forever?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that'll happen for a while.
Now with anime manga, this is where it does happen. But for Song of Vampire, I've read all of this whole entire series, both seasons. It is ended. It has ended, and it is probably one of the most. It is can be a most satisfaction type feel you're ever going to get, or you just want more. That's what I felt from this. I got satisfaction, but I still want more. And with DC and Marvel, I'm pretty sure that's the only thing. I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the advantages they have is that it continues to. But with
There's so many different stories. If you end a story, someone's just gonna come along and write a different story about before just like
yeah,
it doesn't matter. The timelines are all wonky.
and with anime and manga though, like I mean, we started Vampire like the last volume released back in 2014, I think, and it was just like, oh my god, like there's so many series that I've been following and anime manga that have been actually a very good ride. It was enjoyable. Now there's some, and I'm naming One Piece here because it's got 10 more years.
That's right, baby. 10 more years of pure enjoyment.
10 more years of fillers.
It's
but
not fillers. It's just stretching out every single episode.
the
It wants you to really experience
no, I'm
every
not
it's
getting.
putting
No,
half a
no, I'm
chapter
not getting.
into 22 minutes every episode. It wants you to experience every page of that half a chapter. Just get the most enjoyment out of it that you can. Therefore, they're going to make a lot of episodes. Let's put it to you that way.
You guys get that? Good.
Let's put it to you that way.
Okay. Now,
Wait, before we start again. We're going to at the wait. Okay,
cut it.
well, let's say we cover one more discussion point and then
Okay. Now, but with enjoyability, we covered so many topics already. Um, if personally, if like, and I'm just saying this as a little bit of a question, and this also goes throughout the viewers as well, because I want to know what you guys think in the comments below about this very question. If you make it this far into the video, um, like, what you prefer over, like, from story, character setting, and to enjoyability? And also, want to add one more thing as into, like, feeling satisfaction. Like, having the satisfaction of, like, knowing the series, getting to know the characters. What would you prefer more, definitely?
definitely comics because I get to the end of this book. Well, this is only volume one. There's like two other books this size that I gotta read to get to
Put
the
that,
end of
put
this
that,
story.
put that math book down.
But let me um, I prefer comics because I get to the end of a lighter one shot graphic novel and I sit there and I think I should have said one shot. It's just a lighter, just a smaller graphic novel. One's like it's a story. I get to the end of it, I'm like, dang, that's a good story.
On to the
That's
next.
over. I wonder what Batman would do if he his parents had never died, and I just go to the comic book store the next day and be like, "Here's one of those that has that happening," and I pick that up and I go, and I read that story, and then after that I'm like, "Oh, I want some more Batman." It's not like I can't read any more Batman because it's over. I just go to the store and get more Batman. I mean, it just endless
Possible,
entertainment.
like endless possibilities to come in, and it's kind of,
Right, and that's what I was lacking with anime. I get to the end of the anime, I'm like, really? That's the end? This is bullshit.
I mean, unless it's got original source material, and it's like saying, "Oh, read the manga," which I do definitely hate. That's probably one of the biggest weak points about anime. Is those kind of top endings with it as a which when if it has original source material with it, like I'd be like novel, visual novel, sound novel, manga. Which if you guys don't know what sound novel is, go watch Higurashi no Nakakoro ni. You will know what that is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but Higurashi no Nakakoro ni is actually a very gory anime. It's gory,
No, I bet.
but oh, you bet.
No one talks about crying things in their title unless it's going to be gory.
No, that's the translation in American, like when they got released here in America. Sadly, you can't buy it because Funimation let their license expire for it. So
Lazy.
because they said, "Oh, it didn't do too well," and I'm doing this. That's because you never ever like promoted it. It's a good series. But anyhow, like I was saying with enjoyability though, what I would actually prefer because I'm more of a
BBW?
I'm more of someone that wants to go and finish a series. I want to have a story that has a beginning, middle, and end. I don't want to sit there and do, okay, there's the next variation. Now, well,
Hmm.
preference.
Well, no, that's the
And
thing. That's the thing, Jacob. Each story has a beginning, middle, and end.
I know, but I'm saying like you feel the satisfaction, like, oh, that was good.
Oh, you got to see closure in the characters' lives.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I felt. Like you get to see closure, and it doesn't. And this might make you pissed off, but it's like it doesn't overstay its welcome.
You think that, like, comics have gone way too long?
Some characters may have gone off a little bit too long. Some characters like okay, let's mention some things like there's some stories like Captain America. I heard where Captain America was shot and killed in a comic, but then he's still alive somehow. It's like what the hell?
Batman was. Batman died in the
How many
comic.
how many times does he die?
Superman died. Those are just different stories about how they end.
I know, and it's like, but that's what I kind of get at is like okay, so
You can't think of it. It's not
no,
linear.
it's not. No, it's like okay,
It's a tree.
anime manga has a linear story. That thing branches out into like a known tree. It just branches out, but that's the problem is because if someone mentioned like, and this is going to be the biggest problem, and you might or may not agree with me, but say for example, I start reading X Men, right, Marvel,
I don't know
or
anything about X Men.
well,
I don't know anything about X Men besides the
fine.
animated series, and that shit is awesome. Go check it out. The worst freaking Louisiana accent you've ever heard in your entire life. Also the best one. Gambit, great character. Also the gayest
What
character.
about okay, wait, I change it. Superman.
Okay.
What happens if I go and read a Superman comic? I read one timeline, or and then I go off to a different timeline, and yet someone tells me something happens in this one other timeline that I didn't know about. That's the biggest problem because you don't know what timeline some people may be talking about, depending on like okay, someone comes in to a new timeline that has come out in that generation.
Oh, so are you saying like in the comic book they reference something that happened and you don't know what's happening?
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. Um, they don't really do that because there's actual things that happen in these stories that are accepted as the actual storyline. Like they'll make comics for the actual storyline of the character. So the storylines of these characters are progressing and different things are happening to them and they're set ones. Think of that like the base of the tree. But these one shots will reference the stuff that happens in the base of the tree.
that
And
does
they're
make
not
a
going to
difference.
reference something that happened over here in this one shot that
No,
you possibly
I'm
didn't
talking about.
read.
Well, I'm not talking about like a comic references another comic. No, I'm talking about as like fanboys, fans that come up to you and like to spoil the living shit out of something.
I don't talk to other
But,
comic book fans. I'm the
but
only one I know. Just kidding. I'm not. I got
he's got no friends.
zero. Nada. Just me and my dick. You
Really?
can cut that out if you want to.
Oh god. Okay, so
Maybe you
let's.
should make a blooper reel.
That's what I'm saying. I should. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this. So, like, I know we can probably continue with this, and we can probably go on for maybe fucking days about this.
If I
And
knew we were doing this, I would have totally brought more comics.
I told you this a week ago.
Nightfall is not the
Best comic to use example. What the hell is that?
this man's crazy.
Guys, I wish you can see this, and I don't want you to. I think, oh my god, that's detailed.
That's Cornelius Stirk.
That is detailed.
Dude,